TPC presents Satellite7, an adventure serial in 8 parts by Angus McVicker. The storyteller is 15-year-old Jake Thompson. Part 7, The Spy.
Satellite7 was safely launched, and for a time, tension was relaxed. In the excitement, I had forgotten about the spy, but now I began to wonder, had Tony identified the wrong person? Granny Stewart and Bridie went back to the cottage with instructions to come back in the afternoon for the return journey of the satellite. Mr. O'Neill and Tony and I waited to see the scientists at work. At midday, the satellite had circled the moon, and the telemeter permanent control had caused its jets to kick it free again from the moon's gravity and direct it back to Earth. But at 1:10, something happened.
TPC still steady, sir.
Good. Roderick, why don't you drink your coffee and eat a sandwich at least?
No time. I'll eat this evening if all goes well.
Oh, too conscientious, man.
Just another weakness of the Scotch, you know.
What about the boys? And you, Fergus? Lunch is on at the canteen.
Oh, we'll stay here, sir, till the bitter end.
You bet.
He wouldn't miss a second of it.
Where's Harry?
Oh, in the secondary control room, sir, talking to Billy Hackett. I saw him about 5 minutes ago.
Excuse me, sir. Oscillation in TPC.
What do you mean, oscillation?
It's a kind of breaking up. Listen.
What do you think?
We're still holding her, but something's tending to push her off course.
We got the same effect with the first rocket we launched when it struck a shower of meteors.
Could be.
It's getting worse.
Temperature 750 and rising, sir.
Almost twice what it ought to be.
Roderick, don't say we're going to fail now. If once we lose control, we may never regain
We
it.
haven't lost it yet. If it's a shower of meteors, it'll pass. If it isn't, well, we may learn a thing or two in the next few minutes.
But how are you so sure that something has gone wrong?
The oscillation, Fergus. While the satellite maintains a proper course, within certain limits, that is, the telemeter control receives a steady signal from a built-in radio. But when she veers about, the signal oscillates, as is happening now.
I see.
We are holding the satellite on a powerful radar beam, which controls her flight by means of gyros and the jets. But now, something is battling against the influence of our radar.
If she was being struck by meteors, sir, wouldn't it destroy her?
Any meteor bigger than a pinhead would go right through her, boy. When we talk of a meteor shower, we mean infinitely small particles of meteor dust.
I see.
The tiniest pebble traveling at speed would send our satellite spinning if it wasn't for the radar control.
I get it.
That's because she's moving in a vacuum.
Exactly.
Oscillation still violent, sir.
I can hear it.
Temperature 804.
Another 16 degrees and the metal will liquefy, Roderick.
You don't need to tell me.
But can't you do anything about it?
What the blazes you think we can do at a distance of 230,000 miles?
Oh, sorry.
Actually, it may not be a meteor shower at all. The same reaction would occur if the satellite were flying through clouds of gas or had been caught in some kind of magnetic field.
Temperature 798. Going down, sir.
Better news, Roderick.
No change in the oscillation.
The temperature depends on the amount of friction, doesn't it?
Of course, don't ask idiotic questions.
Temperature 751. Still going down.
Good. Whatever the trouble was, it's thinning out.
Steadying considerably, I'd say. We're winning, I think.
Temperature 630.
Going down rapidly now. In a minute or so, it should be back to normal.
Gosh, thank goodness.
What's up?
Oh, here's Lieutenant Carmichael.
Anything wrong, Professor? We saw you going into a huddle over the TPC, so I was sent to find out.
All right now, Harry. Temporary deviation in the satellite's course, probably caused by meteor shower. But she's under control again.
Ah, good. Good show. The boys were getting a bit depressed, especially Billy Hackett. I'd better spread the glad news.
Temperature 576, sir.
Cooling quickly, and the oscillation is gone. I think we can take it that the danger's over.
In the meantime, at any rate.
Yes. Come, Fergus. Won't you and the boys join me in a cup of tea in the canteen? Nothing very exciting should happen for another hour or so.
Yes, I'd like some tea. I'm sure the boys would, too.
Oh,
Yes,
yes,
sir.
please, Mr.
Good. I confess to having quite a thirst. You'll be standing by, Roderick?
I'll be standing by. No frivolous cups of tea for me until after 6 o'clock.
Typical Roderick.
We were back in the launching bay within 10 minutes. Satellite7 was on her return journey, transmitting reams of information and carrying cine pictures of the hidden side of the moon. It was of the utmost importance that these should be landed safely. At 4 o'clock, Granny Stewart and Bridie rejoined us. At 5 o'clock, the satellite was only 29,000 miles away. At 5:30, she was approaching the atmosphere of the Earth, and I was beginning to wonder if the spy had decided, after all, to take no action.
Where's Hackett? Are you there, Hackett?
He's in the secondary control room. Here he comes, sir.
Yes, sir. I was checking the timing gear with Mr. McIntyre.
Help Finderson here at the TPC. It's going to be a tricky business guiding her in.
Very good, sir.
Come and keep tabs on the gyro control.
Right. Oh, blimey. When I write my memoirs like all the great men, this day I'll have half a dozen chapters to itself.
I look forward to that, Hackett. Are our guests comfortable?
Oh, yes.
Yes. What happens now, Professor?
We get ready to bring her in. As you can imagine, we have to slow her down considerably before she enters the Earth's atmosphere.
Otherwise she'd be burnt out.
Quite. I see you still have your basket, Mrs. Stewart.
Yes, no one leaves my sandwiches, but Miss Brady's been explaining that you're all too busy to worry about food.
Too busy and too excited, perhaps.
I don't understand about the rocket, Professor, but I'm praying that you'll be successful and that great honor will come to Shuna. It will be something for my grandchildren to tell their friends that their old granny was here when it all happened.
You're right there. And I've been thinking of the publicity for my new play. Scientific background is drawn from reality.
So no matter what happens, you and Jake may leave tomorrow, Tony. No more need for security.
I don't know if we're so keen on leaving now.
You bet we're not.
But how do you mean, sir, there's no more need for security?
We're in touch with the government. I've informed them of the launching by radio telephone, and they're issuing a statement after 6 o'clock tonight.
What happens if something goes wrong at the last minute?
That would be announced, too. The point is, every radar telescope in the world is trained on our satellite by now. The only secret that will remain is the detail of her construction.
But do you think the launching was a complete surprise?
I'm not sure. If the landing is successful, the prestige value to this country will be enormous.
Where do you intend it to land, sir?
Somewhere on the beach, beyond the towers. You'll notice that the periscope mirror is now trained in that direction.
Oh, yes, I did notice that.
We can't be entirely accurate, of course, but there's about 10 square miles of sand down there, and we're hoping that will give us sufficient latitude. And in the next 15 minutes or so, we should find out.
Gosh, it's terrific. I wouldn't have missed this for a dozen shipwrecks.
Everybody's here except Lieutenant Carmichael. Where's Harry, Professor?
We're going to have a word with his men, I think, and to make sure they're all in the safety bunker for the landing.
Oh, in that case, is there danger, Professor?
No real danger. But if the satellite were to disintegrate above the island, we'd be safer under cover, wouldn't we?
Yes, I see.
All set, Professor. Timing gear checked.
No, thank you, Roderick. Stand by, will you? Here at the desk.
Right. And I'll warn you lot again, keep quiet.
You'll do that,
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
McIntyre.
Well, I hope so indeed.
Gentlemen, your attention, please. As you all know from the instruments, satellite7 is now only 3,000 miles above the Earth, traveling towards us at approximately 40,000 miles per hour. That means that in roughly 5 minutes, she will be entering the atmosphere at an oblique angle, I may say, and somewhere above Indochina. In the meantime, our task is to slow her down, to reduce the friction and so prevent possible disintegration. You all know your jobs.
Yes, sir.
But the main burden of control rests with Finderson and Hackett here at the TPC under my direction. Well, any questions?
I have one. A highly important one, Professor Walters.
It's Harry back from outside.
Yes, Harry? All your men under cover?
They are all under cover.
Then make your question short, please. We haven't much time.
All right, I will.
What's the matter, Carmichael? You're as pale as a sheet.
He's got a gun.
I've just been to your office, Professor, and used the radio telephone.
What? You had no right.
I've been doing it for some time now, when you were elsewhere. I've had certain instructions
From the RAF?
from my employers. And keep your right hand out of your pocket, Walters. I got you covered.
Gracious, the evil.
Oh, Granny.
What the devil's the meaning of this? Will somebody explain?
I will, Mr. McIntyre. As you suspected, there has been a spy on this island, sending information about satellite7 to interested parties.
Shut up, O'Neill.
He believed that the launching here was to take place on the 21st, and arranged with those interested parties to speed their own production of a moon satellite, which they planned to launch on the 20th.
You're wasting
The
your
decision
breath.
to bring forward the launching of satellite7 took him by surprise, especially the launching at 6 o'clock this morning. He had to think quickly.
O'Neill, how do you know all this?
Billy Hackett and I conducted a private investigation. Last night, Billy found a document, shall we say, which suggested to us the spy's identity.
You can prove his identity?
Up until now, we couldn't, but I think we're about to get all the proof we need.
Cut that cackle, will you? And stand back from that machine. Finderson, and you, Hackett. Go on, stand back, or say I'll use this gun. That's better. Now for our question, Walter.
You traitor!
Hold it, Roderick. Carmichael, in 3 minutes, the satellite is due to make contact with the Earth's atmosphere. That's all that matters at this moment. If we don't take action in time, it will be destroyed.
You'll have plenty of time to take action, provided your answer to my question is satisfactory.
Well,
The full detail of the operation is lying there on the desk. If you hand it over to me now and let me go, I'll take no further action. But if you refuse, I'll put a bullet in the TPC, or as many as is necessary to put it out of action. And your satellite will burn itself out like a shooting star. Well, what's your answer?
I cannot give you the detail. It's top secret.
You'll not get away with this. I'll carry
Make
you
one
on.
move, McIntyre, I'll drop you. You heard me, Walters. The detail or the destruction of all your plans.
Don't you understand? This detail will be published later for the benefit of every country in the world.
I want it, and I want it now.
No, I can't. Carmichael, within 2 minutes, I must have the braking jets in action.
Why did you make sure of that? Just hand over that detail.
Don't do it, Professor. The atomic motor is years before its time. I'll deal with him.
No, Roderick, I'll deal with it.
You keep your distance,
Don't
O'Neill.
come near him, you tell me.
All right, Brady.
I said keep your distance.
You did as we planned, Billy?
Yes, early this morning. Big man spotted him since then.
I'll risk it.
Oh,
Give me that gun.
I warned you,
I'm a
O'Neill.
bit stronger than you, I think. You haven't a chance.
Oh, haven't I?
All right, folks. No, I'm done. I changed the bullets in his gun.
Don't look so astonished, Carmichael. They were blanks.
Blanks?
Why, you can't touch me. Well, on the contrary, let's see what a little judo can do. Ellen, Tony, Jake, quick! Get the rope. It's in Johnny's basket. Right, sir. Just a minute. Take it easy, Carmichael. Here we are, sir. That's strong close. Ellen, boys, catch him up, will you?
Get your hands off me.
You keep quiet. Jake, pull that end through below him. I said, tight, boys, tight. Tighter, Jake, tighter. That's it. Oh, well done, that's fixed. Now, Professor, you can get on with your job, I think.
Fergus, what can I say? I'm deeply indebted to you.
An officer in the RAF. It's incredible.
He wasn't in the RAF at all.
Eh?
But I'll explain all that later.
Winslow, Brown, take the prisoner through to the secondary control room. Keep him there until we can hand him over to the sergeant after the landing. Right there.
Come on, we'll get you for this, O'Neill. If it takes me 20 years, I'll get you.
Save your breath. Thanks, boys.
Now, we can discuss this unfortunate incident later. Meantime, we've no time to waste. Satellite 7 is less than 1,000 miles above the Earth.
Well, we can take a seat now and watch the land.
Right there, come on, Jake,
Oh,
over here.
Father, thank goodness you and Billy took precautions.
Professor, sir, can I have your attention?
Now, quiet, everybody, please.
Listen to this oscillation, sir. Becoming more violent. Look at the screen. Hold it, Phillipson. It must be startling right through the screen.
Not now. Nothing must go wrong now.
That was Part 7 of Angus McVicker's adventure serial Satellite 7, produced in the Scottish studios of the BBC.